interest in the environment began when I lived in Australia from ages 9 to 11. I remember smelling smoke from bushfires 3 hours away, and drought forced us to water only by hand and only before 6 a.m. I moved to Colorado at age 12, and when I started high school at Fairview, I joined the environmental club, Net Zero, during my freshman year. I was really excited to be working with 14 active and passionate students in the club, led by a wonderful parent mentor, Chris Moe. The first project that I worked on with Net Zero was redesigning the recycling system at Fairview. When we started, there were just trash cans and recycling bins strewn all over the hallways of the school, in no semblance of order. If someone wanted to dispose of a plastic water bottle, for instance, and there was a trash can closer to them, they would just throw it away instead of recycling it. Our first step was to put on our old clothes and go dumpster diving. We found much contamination. 44% of the trash was actually recyclable. And if Fairview had had a composting system, 21% of all disposed items could have actually been composted. We also put out an audit on our entire school by mapping out all the trash cans and recycling bins that we could find. And overall, we noticed that there were way too many trash cans and not enough recycling bins. So after 1.5 years of getting permission to move bins and working with entities such as school administration, district management, as well as our local recycling provider, EcoCycle, we had finally converted the entire 2,200 student school to the recycling station model. And we did this because we decided to create these recycling stations, which would each contain three bins. So 1 trash can, 1 can of plastic recycling bin, and 1 paper recycling bin. We did this because we knew that because we had done the audit and the dumpster diving, we needed to both reduce contamination as well as increase overall recycling output. So after we had converted the entire school to the model, we noticed that it did accomplish our goals of both decreasing contamination as well as increasing overall recycling output by 42%, leading EcoCycle to donate a whole nother recycling dumpster to us. We did all of this with a project budget of $273. For just, thank you. For just $273, we have diverted the equivalent of 5.5 classrooms stuffed full of recyclables from going to the landfill every year. This is a systemic, permanent change. Because of our hard work, EcoCycle has decided to make us a Green Star High School. This will give Fairview composting as well as more tools to become as close to zero waste as possible. This important change will hopefully happen within the next 2 to 3 years. In another Net Zero project, we wanted to get plastic bags banned in Boulder. Plastic bags are truly intended for single use and disposal. As consumers, we use them once, for minutes, yet they take up to 1,000 years to decompose. They're also made out of polyethylene, which comes from natural gas and petroleum products. This contributes to our oil dependency. Plastic bags are a huge pollutant. They end up in our streams and rivers, which flow through watersheds to the ocean, forming islands of trash, such as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Marine animals can also eat and choke on small pieces of plastic. We thought that it was unacceptable that Boulder, a community that prides itself on being green, had not yet passed or initiated any sort of ordinance to limit the consumption of these single-use bags. So we started this project by writing letters to the editor of Boulder's Daily Camera newspaper. We did this to both raise awareness of the issue in the community, as well as to increase our publicity. We also sent club members to speak at almost every Boulder City Council meeting for about a year. And we asked these members to helped to get the Boulder City Council moving on this ordinance. We brought in research that we had compiled on cities across the nation and around the world that had already adopted ordinances of this type. And we used this research to demonstrate historical successes in the area and to show that a ban on plastic bags and a fee on paper bags was the right option for Boulder. After 1.5 years as the main proponents of the movement for an ordinance in Boulder, we proudly watched as in November 2012, the Boulder City Council did pass an ordinance that places a 10-cent fee on plastic and paper bags. This ordinance will go into effect this July. We got an ordinance passed with a project budget of $6.16. This was the price of stamps to send letters to the editor. So, although not exactly what we hoped for, since Boulder did pass a fee and we were advocating for a ban, this ordinance is a huge, huge step for our community, and we do hope that there will be a ban in the future. Although we were not following a strict set of steps to achieve our goals in both projects, upon looking back, I can definitely identify some common strategies that we use to create change in our community. We first really wanted to examine the community of people we were working with. We needed to understand what their motivations and needs were towards the system that we were trying to change. It was super important to know their incentives and their willingness to modify their behavior in order to facilitate the change. This was the key to the recycling stations. We as students understood the behavior of our peers, and we used this information to provide the right incentives in order to adopt their behavior and finally make an impact. In both projects, we clearly identified the problem at hand and then created a replicable solution. It needed to be a systemic, permanent change in order to make a lasting impact. We also aim to incorporate learning at all stages of the process. We made change through action, but perhaps the even more important change was inside of ourselves, because through these projects, we gained valuable skills and learned about our own strengths and weaknesses. Skills such as grant writing and public speaking will serve us for the rest of our lives as we move into the workforce and become decision makers and leaders ourselves. Most importantly, we never gave up. Persistence was key in both projects, and although the process was often arduous as we dealt with bureaucratic systems and opposition parties, learning how to overcome these challenges really gave us the confidence in our ability to achieve something great. In both projects, we made headlines, and we made a difference in our community. On 2 separate occasions, we were even able to travel down to EPA's Region 8 headquarters in Denver and share our stories and accomplishments with 800 EPA employees. In 4 years, our club has grown from 14 members to over 50. This has shown me that people really want to be a part of something successful. They want to be in a group that truly takes action and makes a difference. Personally, our work over the past 4 years has inspired me to continue to pursue my passion for the environment in college and beyond. As the youth of today, we have the very important job of managing our world in just a few short years. We play a critical role in society as the leaders of tomorrow. We can achieve anything we set our minds to if we not only focus on taking action outside of ourselves and making a difference, but if we also focus on learning and growing as individuals as well. Through being open to change within ourselves as well as change outside of ourselves, we can achieve our goals and can make a permanent, positive impact on the world around us. Everyone can see problems with our world and can say that someone should do something about that. My challenge to you is to be the person that really does do something about it. I'll leave you with a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that I believe truly captures the attitude that we all must take on in order to learn, grow, and change the world. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. Thank you.